Hey everybody, this is Dan with Pain Free You. So today's topic is going to be, you will come to realize, ... So I'll get to what this realization will be. Let me take a couple of breaths first. Breathe in some nice calmness. Exhale the stress and chaos. Breathe in the strength. Exhale the weakness. Breathe in the wholeness. Exhale the brokenness. So, you will come to realize at some point in your journey, and it's usually at the end of the journey, unfortunately, but you will come to realize something I came to realize, and I'm still astounded by it 12 years later. You will come to realize that there was nothing wrong with you to begin with. All right? And for anybody who's dealing with some symptoms that are not your classic pain, I understand that statement may be a little bit harder to grasp, like digestive issues, immune issues, because those kind of blur the line a touch. It's not the brain just turning on pain. You do actually have a digestive issue, but that's the result of TMS, too much stress, which suppresses digestive and immune systems. But for the vast majority of chronic pain folks in the TMS mind-body space world who are aware of and implementing this, I'll say the safety protocol. I don't even know if that's a good name for it, but my approach is generally to teach the brain that you're safe so that the brain decides to turn off the pain. So for anybody in this space who's got some pain type of symptoms, even numbness, tingling, weakness, those things, you will come to realize that there was nothing wrong with you in the first place. And it does still amaze me that I'm 56 now. My pain started in my early 30s, and for most of my 30s and at least half of my 40s, I felt extremely broken. Had the bad back. I was the guy in the neighborhood with the bad back. Everybody knew about it. Everybody asked me about it. How's your back, Dan? How's your back? And it is amazing that once the pain finally let go, and over the years, as I realized that I feel better now at 56 than I did in my 30s, there was nothing wrong with me in the first place, even though it felt like it. So for anybody who's really struggling and saying, this feels so physical, so did mine. For anybody who says, I can't believe how bad it hurts, so it can't be TMS, it can't be created by the brain, it hurts too much, so did mine, right? The significance or the intensity of the pain actually helps prove TMS even more because Dr. Sarno said the pain from TMS far exceeds that of most other medical-caused reasons for pain. So surgeries, injuries, the pain from those is not what it is with TMS, nor is it as persistent, right? Because those things kind of fade away over time. They heal, they recover. But the TMS pain can be much more intense, long-lasting, persistent, and as a result, it creates a lot of fear, despair, hopelessness, sadness, grief over the time of your life that you've lost to the pains. But again, the core of this message is you will come to realize, once you get through this journey, that there's nothing wrong with you to begin with. And so as much as possible, I'm really going to encourage you to jump from a mindset perspective that says, I've done the research, I know what this is, it absolutely applies to me because my symptoms behave in such a way that absolutely indicate that the brain's creating the symptoms and the pains, not some structural problem, right? Go look back on my Facebook page, Pain Free You, Scroll backwards until you see the picture of Dr. Schubner and read that post. That's the FIT criteria. Functional, what was the second one? Not intermittent. Inconsistent. So functional, inconsistent, and T was for triggered. And those categories of testing will help you determine for sure whether or not your symptoms are mind-body. And you don't need to collect all or tick all 30 of them, or however many there are. Even just one is evidence that the brain is creating the symptoms. So you don't have to have all of them. And I know there's some folks who argue and say, but my pain never goes away. And I know that's one of the characteristics of TMS, pain that leaves and then comes back. Mine never does, so I don't have TMS. Please, that does not disqualify you from having TMS. There are many other criteria, many other types of, falling short on the words here today. Not categories, but characteristics of the pain. There are many characteristics of symptoms that we rule in TMS. You rule out the life-threatening, you rule in TMS, and then you're done. Investigation done, case closed, the jury's reached a verdict, right? But what that means is, if you know what it is, if you know what TMS is, and you know that that's what is going on with you, you can make a leap and jump to the mindset that says, there's actually nothing wrong with me. It just means my brain is in an overprotective mode, perceiving danger where it doesn't exist. Like in my case, I perceived danger every time I'd bend over to pick something up, but it was never really dangerous because I can bend over perfectly fine now. I have zero issues or concerns or fears around my back because it was never my back to begin with, even though it hurt for 13 years. So again, I'm really trying to just get you to make that mental leap to say, there's nothing wrong with me, and there was never anything wrong with me. And what's fascinating is, if you ever talk to somebody who's made it through, success story, and they're feeling great, they have arrived at this conclusion. Holy crap, there was never anything wrong with me. So envision that. Hold on to that. Grasp onto that confidence and that clarity that there was never anything wrong with you. Your brain was perceiving something was wrong, and your brain learned to keep the symptoms or pains going. But that doesn't mean there was something wrong with you. It just means your brain was consistently and persistently perceiving danger and turning on the pain and keeping it on. And the more we freak out and fear it and focus on it, the more likely it is to stick around. And the worse we get as far as freak out, the more intense it can be. So the intensity of the pain does not indicate anything other than the intensity of the fear and the perception of danger. So you will come to realize, and it's a wonderful experience, you will come to realize that there was never anything wrong with you. And so please make the mental leap. Envision yourself feeling great because there was never anything wrong with you to begin with, and there is nothing wrong with you. And that's the core message that Dr. Sarno had. Anything they found in investigation were normal abnormalities. They weren't the cause of the pain. The brain was causing the pain. So there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing to fix. You are not broken. So I hope this makes sense. You will come to realize that there was never anything wrong with you to begin with. I did. There is life after chronic pain or other chronic symptoms, and it is a glorious one. It is amazing to be able to walk around without having to worry about your body hurting and symptoms. So, love you guys and gals. I will catch you tomorrow. Take care.